An investigation into former President Donald Trump and his attempts at overturning the election results has found new evidence in the form of another phone call where Trump similarly put pressure on an official into finding him some votes. Now, there's a 6-minute recording out there of a phone call between former president and an investigator, Francis Watson, that took place on the 23rd of December and was published by the Wall Street Journal. So now in the recording, Trump could be heard telling the investigator to find more proof of election fraud in Georgia before basically Biden's inauguration, January 20th. Okay. So now the new information to this, as this recording has been out for a while, is that, well, quoting an unnamed source, official in Georgia with knowledge of the matter says the recording of the audio was located in the trash folder of Ms. Watson's device. Weird. It's in the trash. How'd that get there? I mean, strange place for this recording of a call that is, again, weirdly been recorded. Why was it recorded in the first place? I have no idea. Nobody knows. And then that same recording is in the trash. Okay. Fascinating. Now, the CNN report also claims that officials in Georgia earlier told them the recording of the call didn't really exist. Oh, that's why it was in the trash. Oh, yeah, no, call? No, there's no call. There's no pressure. What are you talking about? Well, then what's that in the trash? Oh, crap. What was that doing in there? Weird. I love this whole idea of like, and maybe this is just me, like kind of imagining this happen. And you know, just this going down this way, this person finding out that they had lied, or that someone else had lied on their behalf and said, what do you mean? There's no recording, there's no phone call. Or they themselves had lied about there being a phone call, dragging it into the recycle bin, and then saying, job's done. All right, we're good. And not realizing that putting something in the recycle bin does not actually delete the thing. It still exists. Like, it's still there. Like, you have to go and delete and empty out the recycle bin if you want to delete something. And even then, forensic experts, computer forensic experts, can go and find something that has already been deleted. And so, look, there's no real way to completely delete something without physically destroying your hard drive. So if they think that something exists, I got news for you. They're going to find it unless you, again, physically destroy the hard drive. And there's certain ways that you have to do it to make sure that the data is 100% unrecoverable. And that is really interesting. But look, this is something that not a lot of people know. You got to be a little bit computer savvy. But okay. Anyway, we have this tape now because somebody was not savvy enough to realize that you can't really delete anything off your computer. And that's, of course, after the president had pressured them to essentially do fraud. And that was, of course, the reason that they wanted to get rid of it in the first place. So anyway, there's more. Now, Mr. Trump told Ms. Watson to, quote, find the right answer, just like she had told, he had told Raffensperger, and that she would be praised for overturning the results. Well, yes. Well, yes, of course. Encouraging her to look for discrepancies in the signature check for absentee ballots, Mr. Trump said, but if you go back 2 years and you can get to Fulton, you're going to find things that are going to be unbelievable in Fulton. The dishonesty that we've heard from, but Fulton is the mother lode. What's in Fulton? What? I mean, really? What's in? If there was evidence of something rotten in Fulton, well then, okay, well then you would think that the multiple investigations would find something, especially by the Trump administration or Republicans that are pro-Trump Republicans that were trying to find something to justify challenging the election results. They couldn't find anything. They couldn't present actual evidence because it didn't exist. Mr. Trump also told Watson that he hoped that we could win Georgia and that you have the most important job in the country. Well, that sounds, again, a lot like what he told Raffensperger. I played for that. I played that call. I remember playing that call. 11,785 or 780 votes to win the election, I think. Okay. So this really tells you, though, how incredibly important the Georgia call was. And on that, I don't think that is the only place Trump had ever called. I'm willing to bet that he maybe made some calls to people in Pennsylvania, maybe people in Michigan. I don't know. Trump, I think, was pretty desperate to win this election by hook or by crook. So he's going to try whatever he could to do this. And this seems to be more proof of that. Now, the fact that he tried to interfere and put pressure and why this ended up in a trash folder. I mean, it just makes the whole situation look really bad. Just really bad. And nobody really knows except for Watson why this ended up in the trash, and she ain't saying anything. Now, she did tell CNN affiliate WSTV's investigative reporter Mark Winnie that even though she was surprised Trump called her, she did not perceive any pressure. Oh, no pressure, no pressure. No, totally fine. Also said, it is something that is not expected. As I mentioned in the call, I was shocked that he would take the time to do that. You're shocked that Donald Trump would try to call you to pressure you into stealing an election based on nonsense? Especially when, by the way, if you had been paying any attention to his rhetoric before the election taking place, about how he was talking about if he loses the next election, it's not because he lost, it's actually because of massive voter fraud. The Democrats stole the election from Donald Trump, and that even if the results end up being in favor of the Democrats, in favor of Joe Biden, that he wasn't going to give up that it wasn't going to give up, that it was going to continue to be in power. Now, thankfully, that turned out to not be the case, but still, he was telling everybody that. It's not like he was locked in a room, and they caught him on secret tapes going, oh man, I think the election is going to be stolen by the Democrats. We got to be careful. No. That he was out there telling everybody. So this is not a surprise. How do you not see that coming? How do you not get surprised at all? No, it just looks really, really bad. Somehow, I do not think that file, which again, for some reason had been recorded in the first place, and that's also curious, ended up in the trash by accident. Just saying. But, I can sit there and speculate as to the reasons why she did what she did. But it's probably best to wait for the investigation to happen. That is going on in Georgia. There's a probe going on into these calls. And so, to wait until we find the facts. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.